Hello everyone, this is your friend Inside XO. Today we will try to use the p4a, the Python for Android project, and the React.js framework to make a mobile application. Now let's copy our repository to our local storage. To make a mobile application, you will need the Android Studio. You can download it and install it. The installation process is quite simple. You could Google it. After you have installed that, you open it. You'll get a window like this. Go to the configure, then SDK manager. From there, you will get a path, the SDK path. This path is very important. You'd better copy it. So this is what you need to get from the Android Studio. I can only tell you one thing, that why we needed Android Studio, because we need it to compile our Python code to binary code so that it can be running at the mobile platform. But that's just part of it. We will also need the user interface. For this case, we will use a React framework, but you can choose any Javascript library for free. It has no limitations. But I'll choose a React. At the beginning, we need to create a React app. So we'll use some command like this. Alright, it says that create React app command was not found. Then let's go to the create React app. Since we don't have this application installed, I'm going to call this npm install globally for the create React app. Alright, after that we say npx create my app again. Okay, now under our repository, we got our my app directory. We go to there and we run yarn start. This is what you can get from the React framework. Now let's build it. Yarn build. After that building, we should get a builder folder. And inside of that folder, we got our HTML code. This folder is very important. We will be using it later. It is under the My App build folder. Since we have finished the front-end part, let's go to the Python part. For the Python, we will use a project called Python for Android. This is a framework that compiles Python to binary code that could be able to run at the Android platform. For this tool, the most important command is this, but you probably cannot understand it. That's why I'm going to use some code that I written in the past. Okay, I think this size is good enough. Let's talk about this. Firstly, as you can see, we got the SDK path. This should be the path that you saved in here. And for this case, it should be, for my case, it should be home with my username, Android SDK. For the NDK, well, it should be the 21 version of that. I don't know if I have that or not, so I'm going to open the Android Studio to check it out. Here we go, configure, SDK manager. From here I can only say that I got the Android 11 SDK, but that's not enough. Then we switch to the SDK tools. I can say here I got a NDK side by side selection here, and the version of that it's 22. I think it's good enough for us, so I'll just use that. And if you don't know where your NDK is, you can just go to your SDK position. Then, as you can see here, we got a big NDK folder, and you can even go to the NDK folder, and from there you got the version number. This is very important. I'll just copy this number and paste it here. So now we got our SDK and NDK paths set right. What about the Android API? I don't know, maybe the 20 line is good enough. The NDK API, I guess the 21 is good enough. So I'll leave it there. Now let's have a look at the Python for Android command. First we call this program. Then we say we want to build an APK. And it should have a folder where it contains all those files it needs. Then we have to specify a package. It's just an identity for Android application. Then we specify the application name. For this case, it's called Freedom. That's also what I wish you guys could do to make some free software to defend the world for human beings. And the version 0.1, the bootstrap, which indicates the type of your application. For this case, we are creating a hybrid application. It was combined by website and the Python, so we will use a web view bootstrap. And the requirements, it depends on what kind of Python dependencies that you are using. And for my case, I'm using the Python 3, Flask CORS, and even Protobuf. But I don't think this is a good idea to use photograph because we can't use the gRPC. Then what's the point about using the Protobuf? The permission, here I'm using the internet, so I need to specify this. And also write external storage. And the port, this port is what your Flask application serves, where you serves your HTML code. Here I'm using the port 8888, the icon, the black last. This is the last that you can use to filter out some files that you don't want to include in your application. So this is a basic meaning for the Python for Android application. Alright, let's leave the build script alone here. And let's go and say our Python script. For the Python, we can just create a main.py file. I guess I'll need to do some simplification about my current code because it's just too much for me to cover in this video. But anyway, if we simplify it, it could be just as simple as import a Flask library. Then we create this Flask application by specifying the static folder, which is, let me say, it's just something you get from the front-end part. Remember, from there you have built some HTML file, so we'll replace that in here. As you can see here, this is where the HTML codes would be. And for the static URL path, it will be used for HTTP, your IP address, then with the UI. This is something like that. And here, those codes, they are used to render or to serve the HTML codes. And finally, we will need to serve that HTML file on the port of 8888, debug equal to false. You need to set the debug equal to false, otherwise you won't be able to compile it. Or even if you compile it, you cannot launch it on your phone. So far so good. Let's try to run this application. For now, say if we get a bug. Oh, it says that no model lambda Flask CORS. Let's install. After that, we run it again. Here you can see we get it right. And if I open this link, you will find not found. This is error. This is a problem. The HTML code is actually laid down under the my app build, but in here we set build. That's the error. Okay, now if we run this again, we will refresh this page and we change this to UI. From the React part, it it has an error. So why this would ever happen? It is because in the package.json file, we didn't actually specify the home page. We need to specify the home page to UI with that URL string. So here I'm gonna say this, specify the home page to UI. So only in this case, it could match our Python file. In here, we also specify the UI. Okay. Then let's build the React application again. After that, we run the Python file again. Now we should say our application running successfully. Great. Then what do we do next? I think I'll just build an application by using this script. So let's do it. Aha, we got an error. It says bootstrap equal to web view command not found. It's not possible unless they have changed their command line. Alright, let's go to their documents. Okay, here's their document. It says that we should set the bootstrap to web view. I think the two commands, they are identically the same. So I get an error here. Let's try it again. And for this case, another error just appeared up, and I have no idea about how to solve it. But at least one thing I could assure is that every steps I have shown you are definitely right. They should be wrong. Okay, I decided to download the exact version that I previously used. 21.06.11.366.9. Click the OK button or applying button. It will ask you to download that. Just wait for it. Alright, install finished. Okay, then let's just change the SDK version for a little bit. After that, we run the build script again. Still, we get an error. It's related to the SDK manager, AVD manager. How about we create a new Android application with Java and the API version to this 5 points, and use legacy Android support libraries. Okay, after the loading, let's run this script again. No help. I guess I'll just use an USB line to connect my real phone with this computer. Then I'll just run it again. No, it doesn't help. So what's wrong with this command? I'll run it by hand. Oh, as you can see here, even if I run it by my hand manually, I still get this error. So this error it wasn't coming from the Python for Android. It's coming from the Android Studio itself. It's Google's fault. And even I run this stuff by my hand, I still couldn't get it right. So I'll just copy this line of error. Someone just met the bug as I did in the 2020. The same errors. But no one ever tries to solve it, it seems like. According to their comments, they said that maybe after we install the OpenGDK 8, we could be able to solve that problem. So let's do it. apt install OpenGDK 8. No such a package. We probably could use this command. Okay, it's working. Now let's switch our Java from 11 to 8 by using this command. Now if I run the AVD manager again, it's working as we expected. So this is a problem that related to the Java version. What a shame. Stupid Java. And it also makes me think that maybe Google should try to update this software for a little bit, because the Java has been upgraded for a long time. Alright, now let's just try to build our software. And now it's working without any problems. It will start to download something. And they will do a check about the GCC or the C++ binding. Oh my god. After a long time of compiling, we got another error. It says that no model named C-song. Well, I guess this is very easy for us to solve. We could just try to install C-song. Then after that, we do the build again. Luckily for us, all those files that's already been compiled will be skipped. So we will just get into where we left. It seems like it's almost there, because it start to install some binary stuff or package stuff, and you know, he start to build those models to binary file for this platform. This is a LAN for a platform. Okay, the rest process for this script to do is actually to use the NDK to compile the Python to binary file. Amazing. So for those people who said that Python is not suitable for system programming, they are wrong. Actually, the Python could be compiled to C language. Then we can compile the C language to binary code. For some of you may not understand the binary, the word binary. Well, it's just a series of 0 and 1. It's a language for the lowest level computer to understand. Well, I just pause this video and wait for it to accomplish. Well, you probably will not believe I just got another error. I got another error here, and it's related to a module, I guess. It's right in here. He says that for this line of code, inside of this function, we got an error. Len is too long. What the fuck about the len is too long? I don't think that I have write a long len or something like that. That's probably not right. And here, the icon. Actually, we do not have an icon. That could be a problem later, probably. Anyway, let's just try to build it again. Still this error. So, where's the problem? I don't really know that, but it's probably related to the len. Maybe he's saying that this len is too long. So let's say, how can we make it more acceptable? I'm going to relan the further len to a shorter one. For example, A. Then let's go to A. That should be probably some shorter. And we will run the build script again. It still says that this is len is too long. Again, I'll just copy this error and paste it in here. The Stack Overflow will probably solve our problem. I just figured out there were other fields in the directory which were also being added to the compiled binary. Once I moved the files to a new directory, they compiled Okay, I start to think about one thing. Since we're using Python to actually package the whole folder under the len A, the React dependencies or the JavaScript, those JavaScript libraries may also include it inside of this. That will cause a problem. So what we are going to do is to, okay, let me do this. I'm going to move the my apps outside of this folder. So now under current folder, we only got the Python. We're in there, but that's not enough. We will also need the HTML file. So let's make a new folder, HTML S. For this folder, it has to contain the my app build, every stuff that we build by using the React will be moved into the HTML folder. Now it looks like something. It looks like something that's accessible. And what we need to do is change the py file. I'm gonna change this to HTMLs. Then the build script, we will also need to change this or not. We don't have to change this anyway. For this case, now let's just build it again. You probably won't believe this, but again, after he downloaded the Gradle, it's a tool for packaging the Android application. It got another error. Compile debug Java with whatever. We got an error. It says that Android permission internet at that duplicated with element declared in that. Cannot find the tools.jar. Please go to there, whatever. This probably would be another problem that related to the Java. So I just switch the Java to 11 version. Then I'll run this build command again. Oh, for this case, if we do that, we will get an error immediately. So we couldn't do that. Let's switch to Java 8 again. Then run this build command. Alright, we got an error again. Here's a command that he was trying to run. He's trying to run this. Let me manually run it. Again, we get an error. For sure. What if I add debug to this command? Build field with an exception. Unhelpful. So what can we do here is first we switch the Java version to the latest one. Then we manually run this command again. And done. It's working. Oh, no, it's not working. Still got an error. A simple debug not found in root project A. Of course, it's not found. At least we know one thing for this is that if we switch the Java to the latest version, we could be able to run the Gradle successfully. But if we switch the Java to the latest one, we would get an error at the beginning when we run the AVD manager. So that's a ridiculous condition. You know what? If we want to make this work, first we will try to use some script to switch to the Java 8, do some work. Then at the middle of our scripts, we need to switch to Java 11. Then we do another task. Only in this way the whole process could be done. That's ridiculous. That's why I personally do not like the Java. It's ridiculous. I think they should do something like this. For example, for each version, if it's Java 11 with a script. Or if someone willing to use the Java 8, he said Java 8 with a script. That would be better. Better than anything, I guess. That's why most people love the Python, because you can do a choose between the Python 3 or the Python 2. This is ridiculous, to be honest. Okay, now I'll try to, do my best for making it right. Yeah, how can we do that? I'll open two terminals. Okay, I'll open two terminals. First, I switch the Java to 8. Then after that, when after we did the compilation, I switched in the middle of the script. I switched the Java version to 11. Let's do it. I guess I just did that. Oh, it's not. Again, we get an error. It's a problem related to the K event. Package alert analog not exist. So what's the problem that's related to this? Now, as we know, those errors has no relationship with the NDK version. So I can switch it back. I still want to run this script. Of course, we will get an error at the beginning. That's cool. That's acceptable. Then we switch to the Java 8. Run the build script again. We still get an error. So if Java 8 can be used, Java 11 also can be used. How about the other Java version? From here we can know that the OpenJDK 8 GRE only contains the Java runtime environment. If you want to do some development, you will also need to install the OpenJDK 8 GDK Java Developer Kits. So let's install that. After it, let's compile our script again. Well, we still got an error. Still this problem. Here's an issue. And for this other, he just provided a solution. It says that we have to import those files to this. Then let's do it. It's something like this. When we get into there, it's actually, yes, got some codes. Then we need to add those 3 lines at the top or under the top. Alright, after this, let's just run the build script again. Finally, it's working. We have successfully built an APK file. That's an Android application. Good. So I'll give this answer a star. And let me have a look at that. Hey, where's our APK? Okay. Here, this is our APK file. We can actually install it. Let's just open my phone, okay? This is my phone. Okay, for this case, I'm going to install the package. It says that install successfully. But where is that file? Oh, here we go. As you can see, this is the icon for the freedom. This is the one that I created by copying the Twitter and did some modification about it. Now let's open it. Hope it's working. As you can see, that's KY. Oh yeah, it's working. It's working without any problem. We got an, we have used the React framework to make the user interface. Then using the Python, especially the Flask, to make the backend or the service. That's a big win. So for now, those people who said that Python couldn't be used at the mobile phone, they could shut up their mouths now. We can do it. Although it's a little bit hard for new beginners. But you don't have to be afraid anymore because I already showed you almost every errors that you possibly could meet and how can you solve those issues and get the results. That's learning. So that's today's experiments. I will put all those links and tutorials under the video description at the YouTube. And if you like my videos, please subscribe. Because if this channel has less than 1,000 subscribers, I couldn't get anything from it. But anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.